speaking of preferences, you being a man who enjoys a karambit, we had that debate, but yeah.
Listen, I love it because it's literally the most, in my opinion, the most caveman knife you can ever have.
That's fair.
And the only reason why I say it is because of the grip.
Yeah.
This is so natural to people.
Yep.
With no problem. I actually did a little bit of training with Doug Markis.
Yep.
And he came to California to San Francisco to do a 2-day seminar. This training with him, thought it was great. Now again, difference of opinion on certain stuff, but again, I was there for that class. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, realistically speaking, and again, like I just said, for me, it's the caveman of knives.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows how to punch. Now, whether or not you know how to throw a punch properly, is different than saying everyone knows how to throw a punch. A child knows how to throw a punch. You know, so for me, and it's kind of funny, I don't have one with me right now because usually I'm flailing and doing other stuff. But excuse me. So I feel that. So me and Kurt, we exchanged energies using knives one time. Again, these were all training knives, people. So don't get into your feelings about it. But it's training knives, and man, I mean, we had an amazing time.
Oh yeah, that was a fun little dance.
Yes, it was a fun little dance, and I mean, his flow is a lot different than my flow because he has, in my opinion, he has more knife training than I do. Okay, he like the systems, the Kalis and the Bikini Tertius. You know that stuff. Oh no, bro, you know it. Trust me. I witnessed it. All right. You know that stuff. Okay. So for me being on more of the combative side of the house, I'm more gross motor skill. Okay. I know knife in hand, there's arm. I need to attack this arm, but I also need to make sure this arm doesn't do anything too. You know? So for me, learning how to, matter of fact, while I was out there training, I bought one of his trainers there. Oh, that's right. I don't think it'll work. I got an idea.
Here you go. No, I see it. I see it right there. There you go.
So I bought one of his trainers.
Nice.
You know, just to have it just as part of the experience. And of course, it would kill and things like that. But
yeah.
So again, the background is killing me. Okay. So I keep everything in front of me. Okay. So like I said, this is the most basic thing in life. Now, don't get me wrong. We should never fight with closed fists and things like that. But it became the conversation of, you know, I'm trying to think of this without trying to put anyone out there. There was an instructor that I dealt with who said that the weapon hand should be forward versus behind. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, to each their own. Okay. Now the philosophy, well, you know, I train with these type of weapons, with swords and fencing, and I'm like, okay, and I understand that, but even a samurai sword is still right foot back, left hand forward.
It's power swings.
It's the power swing. Okay. And they're like, well, you know, you're supposed to have the power hand forward. I'm like, dude, I understand why you feel that way. But that's the point. That is how you feel. Okay? That's not how I feel. All right? I like to keep my weapon behind because in my mind, it's a hidden thing. By the time, again, we're not talking mutual combat. Mutual combat, sure. We both know that's mutual combat, mutual destruction.
Yep.
We teach more self-defense based things. So by the time a knife is seen, we already began the role. We already started doing what we need to do. It's all over, you know, oh my God. Cut, slice. We've done all that. Okay. But that's not what fighting is in real life. There is no 1,000 cuts and all this. No, it's violent. It's straight to the point. So that's why I say for me, this is the most, and for me, this is the most Neanderthal knife ever. I grab, I punch, I cut, I stab, I move, I hook, I jab. I can't get more basic than that. Don't get me wrong, the hook, I mean, the ring has a purpose and things like that. Hell, even understanding how to do something as simple as that takes effort, because God forbid if you use the wrong knuckle.
Yep. Watch that shit fly out of your hands.
There's a lot of issues. So again, that becomes a training aspect of understanding what you're doing. Like, for example, there's horrible videos of this.
Oh yeah.
And that's all because people still believe that you bring the karambit back.
No.
So not even understanding, if I go here in slow motion, I can do this.
Yep. Oh, I have a photo.
I can literally just, okay, so I'm an expert. There we go.
That's where I got my finger all slashed up because I did one of the spinny things and tried to catch it. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Right, like, for example, and again, true story, I have a double-edged karambit. And I think it was called the BAK, big ass karambit.
Yeah. And
what happened was I did a flow where my hand was a little bit too open, and I caught like not deep, but like we'll just say like the top layer of skin. Like it was like literally just the skin came off, no blood, no nothing. But if you put alcohol on that or sweat it, are you gonna feel that? So I did it so smooth that it was like not noticeable. But the minute I started to sweat, I was like, oh my God, I can feel it. But that was me being dumb, playing with a real knife.
What was worse in that situation for me, it was one of those like, hey honey, check this shit out. Yeah.
So you had witnesses.
Oh, I have my wife, and she has never let me down on it.
Oh yeah, and that's wives are never gonna let you down on stuff. It just doesn't happen. And like I said, it's really about understanding what you're using and why. You know, I feel that every knife you buy should come with a training knife.
Agreed.
I feel that way. I feel like if you're gonna carry this knife, buy a trainer. That's very similar to it. Get you a nice little dummy. You know, get your flow, get your drills. You know, like dummy knives are great impact weapons too if you buy a good one.
Yep.
You know, I bought two of these. These are the Doug Markita ones. I have one from Bastinelli. I have another one from Century Martial Arts. I have different types of karambits just so I can understand that all of them don't flow the same. Yep.
So like my preference, what I like is a straight blade with a ring on it. Because this is for deployability is why I like it. Because when I had it on my kit, either here or at the rear, it was real quick draw to bring it. Because like when I was training my unit, because I was a military combatives trainer for my unit for quite a long time, is one of the primary features that I taught was edge weapons work from the offensive standpoint, because we're a profession of arms and all my Joes were carrying these big ass knives and just knives in general. It's like, well, if you're going to carry them, let's teach you how to use them in concert with context, situation, and unit tactics, and also weapon retention. So, because that leads into a further conversation. But for weapon retention, I needed something small enough but efficient enough to do what I needed to do. And so, like preference, I like pokey stuff. I like hammering, is the way I taught it, is from hammering position, because it's gross motor. And I don't have the emotional need to do the spinny stuff because I just don't. Right. But yeah, for deployability, yeah, this is great. So, but that's preference. That's a straight up preference.
Yes. And I teach the karambit, I teach the straight knife, I teach, edge weapons. We teach edge weapons, but it's like, do you teach the folder? Do you teach a fixed blade? If it's a knife, now don't get me wrong, I don't teach a karambit class in the same, I would say the same class I would teach a basic a basic fixed blade or a folder.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, no, that's two different knives. It's two different classes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to like say, yeah, we're doing this, and this. Okay, now here, let me grab this knife and let me teach you this. It's not the same. The flow is not even the same. Like, don't get me wrong, we have slashes, but we're literally depending on the point of the knife. Unless you have a double-edged Karambit. You know, like I can teach that hook. You know, I can teach that uppercut. Yes. But I can't teach that hook the same with a knife that's straight.
Yeah.
You know, that hook is different looking.
Because you have to flick it. You have to flick
right. You know, even the jab. Hell, the jab here is different than the jab here.
Yep.
It's different than if I had a straight blade or you know, so everything is different now. And it always depends on what you're using and why. Again, context and everything else. So that's why I feel that, hell, when I teach an edge class, I'm specific. This is a Karambit only class. Now, can some of the flow be the same? Yes, as long as we don't flail. I can teach you flow as long as we don't flail. And that part of the class I can keep there. Now, does the flail have its purpose? Yes. Can you flail? Yes. Should you flail?
Maybe. Who knows? It could work once. I'll just say it that way.
I feel that if you don't train flailing, that you shouldn't flail.
Agreed.
That is what I will say.
And this is that root-based principles approach of like you have your set 6 techniques or tools that you're going to use, and then you have like all the strenuous stuff afterwards. But like everybody should know how to use a hammer. Everybody should know how to use a screwdriver. Everybody should know how to use a T-square and a tape measure. When we start dealing with all the extraneous doohickeys, that's when things get complicated.
Exactly. It's almost the same thing with a firearm.